Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your reading. And I have started with the two oracle cards in celebration of the spring equinox. And I've laid out present, past, and future. I'll clarify these cards as we move forward. But to get started, I want to read from the Guidebook of Energy Archaeology, the card that describes pleasure and its energetic pathway. When this card is in alignment, the keywords are experiential, sensory, and joy. And the wisdom reads, pleasure is sensation, wild, open, soft, raw, rapturous, delicate, expansive, focused, enlivening. It's your body guiding you to a state of receptivity not often found outside the realm of sensation. It goes beyond the mind to create an experience in the body of aliveness and awareness. Pleasure is personal, but has been disassociated from the person, shamed, outlawed, feared, repressed, made repugnant, strong-armed, and cast aside for other ways of being in the world, ways that are more predictable, more controllable, more tempered. Ideas and acts of pleasure have been distorted by society, but the true frequency has not. There's nothing so complex and yet so simple as pleasure. When it is felt in its fullest expression through the human body, pleasure can move the seemingly unmovable. You're designed for pleasure, to receive it, give it, be supported by it, and activate your gifts through it. It is a holy, three-dimensional gift and guidepost for your life. This is really quite lovely. And in the energy of the recent new moon, this feels as though something that you give to others. And coupled with the success card, I know that there's no greater goal than love. I believe that your success is giving pleasure to a lot of people, or a lot of people are participating in this pleasure with you. This even extends beyond your current relationships. This can extend into your past, through your lineage, through your ancestors, relatives, or family, loved ones that have passed on. Your success is generating a ripple of satisfaction and pleasure to all who observe you making a contribution to the society, your organization, your family, to the world. I forgot to pull a card overall. And at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Pentacles, which really speaks about, I believe, where you've come from and what a phenomenal change this experience of success and pleasure is based on your background. This feels as though you've had to turn over or upturn a way in which you were defined, either culturally or by family assignment, to live. There was a very clear set of expectations that encouraged you not to want for too much, or oppositionally, to want to occur so much that was defined as oppositional. In other words, if your background was humble, you were encouraged to be a millionaire by the age of 30, as an example. This is just a way in which you sought to escape the way you felt you were defined, and yet even the goal of escaping that is a statement about where you came from. Investing entirely in material success almost confirmed your lack of material well-being in the past. I hope I'm making sense there, but nevertheless, I believe that you are overturning whatever that expectation was, and you are experiencing a level of success that represents a true change if it is accompanied with pleasure, with the giving of love, with the receiving of love. This was not in the playbook for you. In the present, the Ten of Swords is confirming this idea that you have had to release the conditioning that you experienced. And this can go also be true for those of you that are not from particularly humble beginnings, those of you that may have been comfortable but were encouraged to uh, exclude considerations of pleasure, joy, accomplishment, satisfaction, focus in order to sustain that sense of comfort. And you've had to undo uh, those expectations of others, recognizing they really weren't fit for you. They were not suited for your path, your purpose, the things that you do well, the things you take pleasure in. And this represents a complete change for you from the path you've been on. This feels recent for many of you. This feels like you've been laboring for a long time under expectations that were very limiting, and you have more recently, not sure what recent means for you, have really released this old set of rules and regulations about what you could do, what you could be. And now you are experiencing success that really shatters those norms for you. In the past, the Fool card. I like this because this shows me that there was a point at which you had to move away from that conditioning. You had to move away from what others perceived as your strengths, your abilities, your zone, your nature, and you've had to have faith in your own beliefs of what was possible for you. This may not have been an easy journey, not as easy as the Fool makes it look like. This journey could have meant really working hard at something that where you didn't have a blueprint, where you didn't have support or advisement from those who wanted you to do something different. And so, in that way, there was a lot of advisement against the direction you were moving in and the moves you were making. However, this has taken you to a surprising place. And that is because at some level you continue to believe in the possibility of this kind of pleasure in your success, this kind of satisfaction from whatever it is that you've been able to achieve. In the future, the Queen of Cups. This is very, very positive. This shows me that there is some strong guidance around you. There is some strong support from your matrilineal, your mother's side of the family, that there are strong women who have survived a lot, who had to learn first and foremost how to take care, how to love and support themselves. So it feels like for some of you, this is the story of a single parent. It need not be a mother, it can be a father who had to give you everything, had to do everything for you, and ultimately were the ones who showed you how to survive in that mode, and that lineage, that particular parent or caregiver, that family line were the ancestors that were paving the way, that had paved the way for you to do what it is you were finally accomplishing in the world. They are still the ones who recognize and see your success, who acknowledge what you've been able to accomplish for yourself. It's not so much about whatever material resources you've gained or material stability you've achieved. It's the way you perceive yourself, the way you love and honor yourself, that is what they were trying to teach you. And I feel like this is finally a moment for many of you when you recognize that your greatest strength and skill is giving love to others, giving advisement, sharing information, uh, helping others to learn in a new way, offering them new learning pathways. If this reading is resonating for you, Gemini, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all of you that have been so supportive of me. So I'm going to clarify the past, the Fool. Oh, too many. I'm just going to start again, but I'll pull this one out. The Two of Pentacles. And one more, please. The Seven of Cups for this Ten of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Page of Wands, the Queen of Cups, the Temperance card, and the Four of Swords. This is coming out. I'm taking it, the Nine of Cups. So in the past, the Fool card's clarified by the Two of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like in the past you've had a lot, an overwhelm of options, an overwhelm of choices. There are many things you once pursued that were relatively conventional rewards that many of us work for. Better job, more money, nicer house, nicer things, perhaps a stronger relationship. These sorts of things were at one time not only overwhelmingly attractive to you, but they were illusory. In other words, getting them didn't solve whatever challenges you were facing. And instead, what you were really trying to navigate was the way in which you had been raised or conditioned, or your family conditions, how to uh, strategize and negotiate that into a more productive, a more generous, stable environment for yourself. There's a real single-mindedness and singleness about your effort in the past. It doesn't mean you weren't in relationships or you didn't have love around you, but it feels as though you stubbornly pursued something despite what others even believed or advised was best for you. I do think that you wanted to move into a realm of much greater possibility, and it took a lot of planning, strategizing, leveraging your resources to put yourself in the lane you wanted to be. In the present, the Ten of Swords is clarified by the Six of Cups and the Page of Wands. There's somewhere in your current environment where you are devoting yourself to uh, remembering, loving, nurturing, being inspired by something in your past, a deep connection from your past. For many of you, this is your ancestors or loved ones who passed away, some space in which you were able to be yourself, and be appreciated for that, or play at the life you wanted, and that gave a lot of joy to others. There's a real connection here with children or your childhood that is something you bring a lot of love and inspiration to. You may have been the favorite babysitter or the favorite uncle of your nieces, nephews, cousins, other extended family members, but there's a real sense of joy and indulgence in the joy and pleasure of childhood and positive childhood memories, even if the childhood could be seen as harsh or challenging. You bring a lot of youthful energy to that, and has nothing to do with your age. You still honor and maintain that joyful, awe-inspired, childlike energy to what you do. And that in and of itself brings tremendous pleasure to your success, pleasure for you in your enjoyment of it. And in the future, the Queen of Cups is clarified by the Temperance, the Four of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Here you have really had to learn long and hard about what is best for you. You have weathered a lot of storms. You have gone through many challenges, and you have begun to understand there were patterns that you were responsible for. There was a role that you played in any disappointments or failures you experienced. That was a hard lesson for you to get. That was hard for you to accept that you were a common denominator in things that seemed overwhelmingly punitive or harsh or that blocked you from getting where you wanted to go. But once you let go and allowed yourself to be in some greater awareness of your responsibility, you began to understand that these lessons were preparation for the experiences you're having now. This experience of being cared for, being protected, honoring your own dreams, respecting your own standards, and holding yourself as the key, the center of whatever success you create, whatever pleasure you give. You're the key to that. Having fulfilled yourself first has been a difficult lesson for you, I believe. The Nine of Cups is really the awareness that, it took this to get here. It took me having to perceive that everyone was against me, or that others just couldn't do their part, or that I was being singled out for some harsh treatment, or I was let down over and over again by others. It took you some time to realize, that this was actually a part of the skills, the awareness that I have now. This is part of the process of feeling that I've done my part to earn the success that I'm experiencing. I've done my part to recognize the pleasure and abundance in where I am now, even if that isn't wildly successful in the eyes of others. I've earned every bit of it, and I've enjoyed the ride. I'm grateful, even if I haven't enjoyed the ride, that I have learned what I've learned so that I can be where I am now. I'm going to finish up this reading with a crystal oracle. And I pulled the Moonstone, and the key word here is cycles. I am in the divine flow of my soul rhythms and life cycles. Yeah, there's something about a culmination here, a tremendous and dramatic change that is completely overturning a sense of harshness, of resistance that you have engaged in for such a long time, that life was such a struggle. And suddenly you're realizing that everything you want is around you and you are open to receive it. And just the awareness of that gives you an immense amount of pleasure. Thank you so much, Gemini, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.